Chances are pretty good that if you open your pantry, you have some Goya Foods products sitting on your shelf. But you might be surprised to learn that there's more to Goya's history than politics and boycotts. Here's what you need to know. Goya Foods was founded in 1936 when Don Prudencio Unanue Ortiz and his wife Carolina, immigrants from Spain by way of Puerto Rico, saw a potential market for selling Latin foods in New York and New Jersey. Unanue, who was a fan of the artist Francisco Goya, purchased the name Goya from a Moroccan sardine importer for $1. He figured that naming his company Goya would be easier for people to pronounce than if he were to use his own last name. Goya started out by selling authentic Spanish products, including olives, olive oil, and sardines from a storefront on Duane Street in Lower Manhattan. They focused on selling to local Hispanic families and then gradually started distributing their products to bodegas in the area. They were committed to selling high-quality products that tasted fresh, which led to their long-standing slogan,
"If it's Goya, it has to be good."
Considering the company's heritage, it made sense that Goya started out small by selling authentic Spanish foods. But in the mid-20th century, New York and New Jersey experienced surges in Hispanic immigrants, providing Goya with the opportunity to branch out into different types of Hispanic cuisine. When World War II ended in 1945, a wave of Puerto Ricans came to New York. This inspired Prudencio Unanue to add yuca, plantains, and pigeon peas to Goya's product line. Then as Cubans and Dominicans immigrated in the 50s and 60s, the company also added black beans, guava paste, and coconut. This local targeted marketing provided steady and consistent growth, allowing the company to expand throughout the eastern United States into the 80s. And as more Latinos continued to immigrate to the US from Mexico and Central America, there was a greater population of potential customers interested in consuming Hispanic cuisine. Unsurprisingly then, the Goya product line only continued to grow.
As the Latin community became more recognized, we did at the same time.
Goya's slow and steady expansion over the course of decades has paid off quite handsomely for the brand, as it is now at the top of the food chain of Hispanic-owned American food companies. In 2012, it had revenues topping $1.3 billion, which qualified it as one of the fastest-growing American food companies in the United States at the time. It still maintains that status, as the company's numbers continue to grow right alongside its product line. So what exactly does it mean to be the largest Hispanic-owned food company in the United States? Goya sells more than 2,500 Hispanic and Caribbean grocery items, everything from oils to seasonings, juices and coffee, and of course, canned foods. That's a far cry from its humble beginnings selling just olives and olive oil. The company employs more than 4,000 people, as it operates 26 manufacturing and distribution centers across the country and in Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Spain. It's also worth noting that the company is still fully owned and managed by the Unanue family. Altogether, it sure sounds like Goya is going to keep feeding plenty of customers for years to come. In one of the smartest moves in Goya company history, in 2005, Chief Executive Bob Unanue and his brother Peter decided to hire the Grey Group's wing agency to market specifically to non-Latinos. This led to commercials that included a black woman stirring Goya's yellow rice and a blonde white woman seasoning chicken with adobo. This campaign worked like a charm, and by the end of 2012, the brand had gained more customers in the areas of the country where the ads were targeted, which inspired even more marketing to non-Latino customers. The timing was also perfect, as ethnic food sales have been growing substantially, with products like ethnic sauces and seasonings and exotic flavored chips growing by 20% between 2013 and 2017. This expansion is also in lockstep with continued growth of the American Latino population, which is expected to reach 112 million by 2060. Altogether, Goya is primed to continue to grow for the foreseeable future. Despite making the conscious decision to begin marketing specifically to non-Hispanics, Goya has never lost sight of the important role it plays within the Hispanic community. In 2018, Goya was ranked number 2 in the United States as a food brand with positive social influence and community support. Through its Goya Gives program, the company donates millions of pounds of food each year to families in need. It also supports culinary scholarships for high school seniors and holds special events like free soccer clinics. Goya has also been known to donate food in the wake of natural disasters, such as Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. They've also made a concerted effort to offer its products to those in need during the COVID-19 pandemic. The company donated 40,000 pounds of food to distribute and bags of groceries to families in the New York City area who were impacted by the virus. All those veggies and beans can certainly go a long way to helping those in need. In 2011, Goya representatives traveled to the White House. CEO Robert Unanue had the honor of introducing President Barack Obama at a reception that was held in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. During the reception, Obama honored Goya for its history with and commitment to the Hispanic community. This meeting started an ongoing relationship between Goya and the Obama administration. In 2012, the company collaborated with First Lady Michelle Obama and the Department of Agriculture to provide resources to Hispanic families. This was done to support the department's new food group symbol called My Plate, or Mi Plato in Spanish. The point of Mi Plato is to help families make healthier, more balanced choices about food using pamphlets, brochures, cookbooks, and coupons. In a statement, the First Lady said, "Everything that Goya is doing centers around the idea that we parents can make simple changes to help their children lead healthier lives." In addition to educational resources, you can also find the Mi Plato icon on many Goya products, as well as recipes found on the brand's social media pages. Goya's commitment to the community includes more than just scholarships and food donations. The company also understands the impact that food and beverage manufacturing has on the planet. Thus, they have taken on the responsibility of leading the way with environmental change. As they've opened new facilities around the country and the rest of the world, they've thought critically about how to reduce their carbon impact. For instance, as the largest user of solar energy among Hispanic-owned food and beverage companies, the company has earned a place as one of the top 10 corporate solar users in the industry within the United States. There are many facets to Goya's environmentally friendly building designs. A few of the highlights include skylights for natural lighting to reduce the need for overhead lights, waterless urinals to cut down on water consumption, lights on motion sensors that turn on when there's activity and automatically turn off when there's no activity. They also have solar energy systems that generate 9.8 million kilowatt-hours of electricity per year, which is enough to provide electricity to 1,265 homes per year. This is the equivalent of avoiding carbon dioxide consumption of approximately 948,959 gallons of gasoline per year. In general, Goya is being proactive in considering the environment as it expands its operations. This is surely a good thing, as it's important for private companies to take personal responsibility for the world's environmental problems. Despite all the good that Goya has done over the years, the company found itself in some hot water in July 2020, when CEO Robert Unanue made positive comments about President Donald Trump. Unanue was appearing at the White House to help roll out the Trump administration's Hispanic Prosperity Initiative, which is intended to improve access to educational and economic opportunities for Hispanic Americans. During the July 2020 White House meeting, Unanue stood next to Trump in the Rose Garden and stated,
"We're all truly blessed at the same time to have a leader like President Trump, who is a builder."
He then went on to compare Trump to his own grandfather, the founder of Goya Foods. The backlash that resulted from Unanue's comments about President Trump was swift and harsh. Many members of the Hispanic community view Trump as someone who incites racism, which has resulted in increased violence against Latinos. Clarissa Martinez de Castro, the Deputy Vice President for Policy and Advocacy for Unidos US, a Latino civic engagement organization, spoke with the New York Times about the Goya boycott that resulted from Unanue's words. She noted that the speed and size of the boycott demonstrated, quote, how raw people in the community feel about the president. She also stated that many Latinos blame Trump for attacks that have taken place on undocumented immigrants, as well as other violence against Latinos, including the shooting massacre that took place in El Paso, Texas in 2019. The shooter in that incident was charged with federal hate crimes after he stated that he wanted to kill as many Mexicans as he could. Trump's approval from the Hispanic community has hovered around only 25% in recent polls. In general, many Latinos felt deeply betrayed when Unanue, a true leader in the Hispanic community, chose to stand next to Trump and offer him praise as a leader and a builder. What happened next was a call to boycott, as well as a series of images on social media of people clearing their pantries of Goya products and throwing them in the trash. Hashtags like Boycott Goya and Goya Way started trending on Twitter, and other politicians took to their own social media pages to commit to the boycott. As New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez put it, "Oh look, it's the sound of me Googling how to make your own adobo."
I, for one, am totally baffled.
National politics in America are intensely polarized, so it should come as no surprise that while many Hispanic Americans and Democratic politicians, like Ocasio-Cortez, started calling for a boycott, others immediately responded with a campaign to instead support the brand. Some Republicans spoke out in support of Goya, while pointing fingers at the Democratic Party. Texas Senator Ted Cruz, for one, tweeted, "Goya is a staple of Cuban food. My grandparents ate Goya black beans twice a day for nearly 90 years, and now the left is trying to cancel Hispanic culture and silence free speech." President Trump and his daughter Ivanka also got on board. Ivanka tweeted in both English and Spanish the company's slogan, while posing with a can of beans, while her father posed in the Oval Office, while giving a thumbs up in front of Goya products. This has brought up ethical concerns about government employees using their influence to endorse specific products, although no specific charges have been filed against either of the Trumps. As both sides continue to rage on, it's unclear ultimately who the winners of the boycott and anti-boycott will be, if there can even be winners of this conflict. At the end of the day, the loser is likely the American people, when a literal literal can of beans can open a metaphorical can of beans and spur animosity and hatred from both ends of the political spectrum, something is clearly broken in modern politics.
We are all free to do with our frijoles as we wish.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about your favorite food brands are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.